Now for question number 1, we are given the general solution of this differential equation here. And this is the general solution on this interval. And we are told to show that a solution that satisfies these two initial conditions, and is after implementing these two initial conditions in the general solution, we are told to show that our particular solution is what we have here. Now to start with, so I'm going to write my solution. The general solution we're given is x of t equals c1 cosine of omega t plus c2 sine of omega t. Now, by the time this general solution satisfies this first initial condition, in other words, I want to start by implementing the first initial condition that says when t is 0, x is x naught. So when t equals 0, we have x naught equals c1 cosine of, so this is 0, so this goes to 0, plus c2 sine of 0. So that's what we have. So, and we know that the cosine of 0 goes to 1, while the sine of 0 goes to 0. So what we would have left here is going to be, we'll have c1 times 1, that's c1 plus 0. So this implies that c1 equals x naught. So I can write my x of t to be equal to x naught cosine of omega t plus c2 sine of omega t. Now the next initial condition that it satisfies is that we're given that x prime of 0 equals x1. So that simply implies that by the time we take the derivative and implement this initial condition, then we should be able to find the next arbitrary constant. So let's find the derivative of x of t. So finding the derivative, we have x prime equals, so this is a constant, we're going to have minus x naught omega sine omega t, then plus c2 omega cosine of omega t. So this is what we have. So and we are told that when t equals 0, that is the derivative at point 0, that is x prime of 0. So wherever we see t, we substitute with 0. So we have minus x naught omega sine, so 0 times omega is going to give us 0, plus c2 omega cosine of omega times 0 will give us omega. So when we do that, sine of 0, everything here goes to 0, while cosine of 0 is 1. So that's what we get. And we are told that x prime of 0 is x1. So this should be equal to x1. So let's continue here. So we have x1 equals c2 times omega. That's c2 times omega. And we want to find c2. So we divide both sides by omega. So we have c2. So this should be x1. c2 equals x1 all over omega. So now I've been able to find my c2. So therefore the general solution, which is going to be x of t equals, so we have x naught cosine of omega t, then plus our c2 now, which is going to be plus x1 all over omega sine of omega t, So this is the particular solution which we're told to find. So you can see when you compare this and this, you're told to prove that this equals this. So they are equal, and that completes the solution.